And y'all, here go Princess. She gonna sit up here and whisper to me. No. Listen, y'all. She gonna lean over and whisper to me. Oh, you got a new friend?
What this make you feel like though? What this make you feel like though? What this make you feel like though? Y'all, come wine till you broke off your back, broke off your back, broke off.
Hey everybody, welcome back to your girl channel. You are now rocking out with your girl Tricia. Okay y'all, so I am back with part 2 of the story time my best friend's stepdad asked for my number. As I told y'all in part 1, I did not realize how long the video was and how long, I had been recording. So the video was entirely too long for me to keep it all in one. So I really had no choice but to break it up into 2 parts. And y'all know I hated to have did that to y'all, but I feel like it would have been well worth the wait, okay? So yes, your girl is back with part 2. And I gotta do a quick little spiel for y'all before I go ahead and jump into part 2. So I need y'all to do a couple of things for me before we get started. The first thing I'm gonna need y'all to do is like this video. I already know y'all gonna make it to the end of the video, so you might as well go ahead and like it in advance, okay? Number 2, leave me a comment below. I love to run my mouth. And I want to see new faces in the comments below. So tell me what y'all favorite part of the story time. Tell me what y'all like the most about the story time. Leave whatever kind of comment you want to leave. Trust me, I'm going to talk back to y'all. I'm going to run my mouth all day long in those comments below with y'all, okay? And number 3, okay? The very most important one. Your girl is always looking for a new best friend, a new subby, a new family member, a new Tricia Babe, all of that and then some in above. And your girl just started her channel, so she definitely need all of that, okay? All of it. So if you didn't stumble across this video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I want to keep growing till we just can't grow no more, which that would never happen, okay? But go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you guys. And while y'all are at it, also hit that notification bell so that y'all are notified every time I upload, as well as head over to Instagram and TikTok and hit those follow buttons as well too, because those 2 platforms is where y'all will know when I'm going to upload my next video, as well as what video I'm going to upload next. I tried to kind of run through that pretty quickly for y'all so we can go ahead and jump into part 2. So, you know, he's sitting down next to me and he's talking and he's making small talk and stuff like that. But I'm just still, you know, clouded by everything that's going on in my head and trying to figure out what you're doing here and where's the family, the kids, my best friend, all that other good stuff, okay? So, y'all, he steady talking and stuff, and eventually, I end up asking him, I'm like, you know, how is my best friend doing? Like, how is she doing? I really wanted to ask him, you know, where was she and the kids and his wife? Because every time I've been around them, of course, you know, I've been around all of them. Like, they really are like a family unit. They do a lot of stuff together as a family. So to see him by himself, it was kind of a little bit odd. So I wasn't going to ask him necessarily where they were at, because I feel like it wasn't my place to be asking him anything like that. So instead of me asking him that, I'm just like, okay, you know, how's my best friend doing or whatever. And y'all, the reason why I asked him how was my best friend doing, because at this point in time, me and my best friend had fell out. And when we fell out, y'all, we hadn't talked to each other in literally months. Like, it was so long, y'all. It was almost like a year. We hadn't talked to each other in so freaking long. We had just finally rekindled things and stuff like that with each other not too long ago. But even though we rekindled things, we weren't talking like how we used to before. So at that point in time when I saw him at the pool party, I hadn't talked to her in like a few days, so I didn't know what was going on with her, versus like before in the past when we were good, before we had fell out, we were talking like every day. So that's why I asked him, you know, how was my best friend doing? And he was just pretty much like, you know, she's doing okay, she's good, or whatever the case may be. So I was just like, oh, okay. So y'all, he's still sitting up there trying to make small talk. But he does end up telling me that when he very first got here, he kind of got into it with like the person at the gate, and it was another person. So I'm like, oh, you got into it with them. He was like, it was kind of like a little bit of a commotion. And I was like, oh, really? Because I didn't hear anything. Like, I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. He was telling me he had pretty much gotten into it with the person at the gate and somebody else because, like I told y'all, you either had to have the ticket, which had the flyer on it, or you had to pay to get in. So he actually was like that his homeboy sent him a picture of the ticket. And so he had the picture of the ticket on his phone. So he's showing the guy at the gate the picture of the ticket on his phone. And so they're not trying to accept that because they're like, he need to physically have the ticket. And he's just pretty much like, well, you know, I'm showing y'all the ticket. You know, clearly I bought it or I got it or whatever case may be. Now, to be frank with y'all, if it was me and I was at the gate as well too, supposed to be collecting the money and the ticket and all that other good stuff, I would have personally been like, yeah, you need to physically have this ticket as well too, because we don't know where you got this picture from. For all they know, you could have got this picture off of Instagram or some type of social media like Facebook or something. You could have got this from anywhere. Like, how do you really know you paid for it if you don't physically have the ticket? So I can see them, you know, giving him some kind of opposition about that. So yeah, but he went to talking about, you know, they were making a big deal out of it, and he thinking he gonna have to get into it with them and stuff. I'm like, dang, was it really that serious? Like, was it really that serious? Like, okay. But he was like, eventually they went on ahead and let him in. So I was like, oh, okay, you know. Oh, that's interesting to hear, just because I knew I didn't hear anything. I eventually tell him, I'm like, well, you know, I'm with the promo group that threw the event. So he was like, oh, you with them? I was like, yeah. And so he was just pretty much asking me like where DJ was at, because I guess he wanted to meet him and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I don't know where DJ is at. I actually haven't seen him in a while. So he must be around here somewhere running around. I don't know where he's at. But I was just pretty much telling him, I'm like, well, you know, when I see him, I'll just let him know, you know, you want to talk to him or whatever the case may be, because yeah, that's what I'm getting, that, you know, he want to talk to him about whatever he want to talk to him about. So y'all, he's still sitting up there and he's still trying to make small talk, and he's not really much talking about too much of nothing at this point. He's just, you know, talking, and I'm not really paying attention, and I'm trying to engage as much as possible, but at this point, I'm not really paying attention because I'm still trying to figure out, like, why are you still sitting here next to me? Because I don't see no reason. I don't see no reasoning of why you would still be sitting next to me, just, you know, talking about any little small random thing. Because, yeah. And y'all, here go Princess. She killed me. She killed me, y'all. Like, oh my goodness, she pissed me off. She gonna sit up here and whisper to me. No. Listen, y'all. She gonna lean over and whisper to me. Tell her some, oh, you got a new friend? Bitch. Bitch. I'm like, no, the heck? I'm like, no, this is my best friend's stepdad. Like, I know him. Like, no. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, see, this is exactly why, or really much another reasoning of why I don't want you still sitting here next to me. Not only is it like really starting to make me uncomfortable, but I don't want people looking and assuming that, of course, you're sitting down next to me and you're trying to talk to me and I'm entertaining you because I'm sitting up here talking back and you ain't went on about your business. So clearly I'm entertaining whatever it is we talking about, or I'm just entertaining to them what it may look like to other people, you trying to talk to me. So I'm just like, that was irritating me as well too, because of course, like I told y'all, majority of people that was in the promo group went to our high school with us. And I met my dude in high school. So a lot of them knew my dude, okay? And I was coming tipsy sometime with him. So I'm just like, yeah, please get away from me and stop talking to me, because at this point it's starting to look bad. And the last thing I want anybody thinking is that I'm sitting up here really entertaining this dude. And a lot of these people here know who my dude is. And I don't want that perception going into their head or anything along those lines. So I really need you to get up and get away from me at this point. I really need you to go on about your business and find something else to do, or find somebody else to talk to and not me. Like, Come on now. So I do just want to go on and say that yes, me and my best friend were once best friends, and we were truly best friends at that time. But when we rekindled things, I no longer saw her as a best friend anymore. Just because it was so many months had went by with us not speaking to each other, and the simple fact that I had to reach out to her, I had to put my pride aside and reach out to her when it clearly shouldn't have went that way, okay? I had to put my pride aside and reach out to her because of course I was missing her as a friend. With me putting my pride aside to reach out to her when it honestly should have been the other way around, to me, I felt like, yeah, you are no longer my best friend anymore. You weren't just gonna come back into my life and just think we're gonna pick up where we left off. I mean, yes, I did initiate the rekindling, but it's still not going to work like that with you just coming back into my life and that's just picking up where we left off. At that point, I felt like she had to earn that back with me. Like, it was no more best friend situation with us. I didn't feel like that anymore, and I didn't feel like she was my best friend anymore. And I felt like we could truly work our way back to that status if we really worked on the friendship. And no, I did not tell her that I felt that way, that I did not see her as a best friend anymore. She still saw me as a best friend, and she did occasionally mention me as a best friend, but I didn't do that. I should have honestly told her that I did not, personally see her as a best friend anymore. But in that point in time, our friendship was already so fragile, okay? I didn't want us to rekindle things just for us to potentially stop talking again. Because why would I just, reach out to her for us to see if we can make this thing work again and we can come to some kind of common ground to where, we can actually work on our friendship and be back in each other's lives. Why would I do that just for me to turn around and tell her, I want us to work on things, but I don't see you as a best friend anymore? I felt like when the appropriate time came up, I would let her know. Because it wasn't like we were sitting on the phone all the time calling each other best friend. It wasn't like we were calling each other up or being around each other on the phone talking about something. Hey, best friend, what you doing today? Best friend, what you ate today? Best friend, what you going to wear to school today? Best friend, how you doing today? We wasn't doing all that. We wasn't constantly calling each other best friend 24/7. That was not what was going on. Now, it would have been a different story if we were like that. We were calling each other best friends 24/7. Then yeah, I would have been like, hold on now, pump your brakes, girl. Pump your brakes. We ain't back there. We not back there right now, okay? We not there at that moment. We gotta work our way back up to that, okay? Right now, we just friends, okay? Like, pump your brakes on the whole calling each other best friend stuff. Like, we literally ain't almost talking a year. You really considering me a best friend? Like, be for real with yourself. But when we rekindled things, it wasn't nowhere near the same at all. We talked occasionally, like maybe every few days or something along those lines, if that. But like I said, it wasn't nothing necessarily wrong with our friendship. Like, we didn't get into it with each other or nothing. We just weren't like how we were before we fell out. And so I knew that eventually we were going to go back to how we were when we did fall out, and we just were not going to be talking to each other anymore. That's just pretty much, how we were in that particular moment and how we was before we fell out. And so with me being her best friend, y'all, and with me knowing her for so freaking long, with that friendship that we created, I also created a friendship, with her family as well too. I literally looked at her mom like a second mom. Her mom literally looked at me like a daughter as well. And to be honest, I feel like she liked me more than she liked her own daughter, okay? I'm gonna just be honest. I really feel like she liked me more than she liked her own daughter. But I really saw her mom like a second mom. Me and her mom also had a really great relationship as well too. And actually the last encounter I had with them was when I actually did reach out to my best friend to try and rekindle things. She actually ended up inviting me over to their house that same day. And it was around Christmas time. So she was like, hey, you want to come over? We having like a little get together. It's family over and stuff like that. You can come over. So I was like, yeah, I guess I'll come and stop by or whatever the case may be. I thought it was going to be a little bit weird and awkward because this is literally my first time seeing her after so freaking long. Okay, that's number one. And then number two, of course, it's my first time seeing her family after so long as well too. And of course, I know that they know that we clearly were having some kind of issues because they don't see her on the phone with me all the time anymore, and I'm not coming over. So when I come to her house, I get there, I'm knocking on the door, I'm thinking she gonna be the one to answer the door, but she don't. Her mom actually answered the door. And so when her mom answered the door, when she saw it was me, y'all, she literally screamed. Her mom literally screamed and she hugged me so tight, and we just literally in the doorway like hugging each other and rocking each other backwards and forwards, and we're just screaming because we're so happy to see each other because we haven't seen each other in so long, you know, since the last time me and my best friend was cool and we were actually talking. That was pretty much like the last time I really saw her family and her mom. You would have swore that me and her mom was the ones that was best friends. I'll promise y'all, the way that we were in that doorway hugging and yelling and screaming, you would have thought that we were the ones friends, okay? But yeah, I just kind of want to explain a little bit of that, the relationship I had with my best friend and her family as well too, especially her mom. Now back to the pool party, y'all. So like I say, he just sitting up there making small talk and he's talking about whatever. I'm just, you know, just sitting there. Some of the stuff is just going in one ear and coming out the other, because all I'm thinking is like, when you gonna stop talking and get up and get away from me at this point? Like, I really want you to just, you know, get up and go on somewhere else at this point, really. So eventually, Princess and the other dude, they end up getting up. Y'all, oh my goodness, they piss me off. They end up getting up and they walk outside the gate to go talk to the guy that was sitting at the gate. When I tell you, I was looking so freaking crazy. I was looking so crazy. And I'm just like, Princess, how you just gonna get up and leave me? Like, the hell? You wasn't even gonna attempt to ask me if I wanted to come with y'all. Like, you just gonna get up and leave and don't say nothing? Like, the heck? I'm just looking like, oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me. But to be honest, I think she didn't say nothing, y'all, or she didn't want to say nothing, because I really think that she thought I was into this conversation I was having with this man. And I wasn't at all. And I think she probably didn't want to like interrupt or anything like that. So that's why she honestly didn't say anything or tell me, you know, hey, you want to come with us or whatever. They just took it upon themselves just to get up and leave and don't say nothing. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. At this point now, I'm extremely agitated and I'm even more uncomfortable because now it's just literally me and him sitting here. It's just me and him sitting here. A lot of people that was even on this side of the pool area, they gone as well too. This is now extremely even more uncomfortable. It looks even more awkward, more weird, and just so unright, okay? Because it was already looking off when you sat down next to me, you sitting up here started talking. But it was a little bit okay because Princess and the other guy was sitting, you know, right across from me. So it was kind of like a group little situation, kind of, sort of, with all four of us sitting there. But now that they done got up and left, it's just me and you, and now it really looks crazy. And so I'm just like, oh, hey, nah. At this point, I'm like, bump this. I'm finna get up and I'm finna leave. I'm finna leave and I'm finna go out there with them because I can't take too much more of this. This is killing me and I'm ready to go at this point. Like, I'm tired of sitting here trying to make small talk with you. I'm ready to go. So eventually, maybe like after a good like 3-4 minutes, I tried to wait it out as much as I could. I'm just like, you know, hey, it was nice seeing you again and stuff like that. You know, tell my best friend and the family I said hey, but I'm gonna go ahead and go outside with my friend. So he was just pretty much like, okay. So I give up, y'all. I go ahead on and walk outside where they was at, outside the gate. Now, I felt bad. I ain't even gonna lie, I did feel bad. I felt bad to get up and just leave him like that. But in the end, y'all, I was extremely uncomfortable. I was starting to feel like very yucky and icky. It was from like a very unright kind of situation, and it felt like I really needed to remove myself from the situation. So yeah, all of that outweighed me feeling bad that I just left him there. All of that really outweighed it. So I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for leaving you there, but I gotta do what's best for me right now, and getting myself out of this uncomfortable situation was best at the moment. So, I go out there with Princess and the other guy, and then Princess asked me again. She was like, who is that? So I'm like, girl, that's my best friend stepdad. So she's just pretty much like, what is he doing here? I'm like, girl, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm trying to figure out my dang self what he doing here. I have no clue. And y'all know what the weird part about it was that I also thought about shortly after, was that he was there by himself. And I was confused on why he was there by himself, because you say your homeboy sent you a picture of the ticket. Why didn't your homeboy come with you? Because clearly he didn't know nobody there at the party. Because if he did, he wouldn't have sat there the whole time just talking to me, trying to make small talk with me. He would have eventually got up and mingled with other people, or he would have went over to somebody else that he did personally know. He wouldn't just sit there the whole time, forcing me to talk to him, pretty much. So I'm like, why did you just come here by yourself and you didn't come with your homeboy, the one who sent you the ticket? That was a little strange to me. And not only that, y'all, I'm trying to figure out, what are you even doing here at an event like this? Like, this is a young person event. Like I told y'all, we were in like our early 20s. I think I was still 21 going on 22 at this time. I could have possibly been 22, but I'm more than sure I was either about to turn 22 or I was 22. Either way it go, I was in my early 20s. And him, on the other hand, he's in his 40s. And it's just like, you here at an event with people that's like twice your age. I mean, you here at an event with people you're like twice their age. That was weird. Like, what are you doing here at a young person event? Dog, I literally had just went out this gate. I've probably been out the gate probably all of 2 minutes, okay? And I see him getting up, coming, walking towards the gate area. I had already knew what he was coming out there for, just because of how he was coming as he was walking to the gate area. And matter of fact, I'm gonna paint y'all the scene real quick. Let me get my phone so I can paint y'all the scene. Give me one moment. Okay, y'all, so he walking towards the gate area, right? His phone is in his hand like this. Let me get it pulled up so I can paint y'all the picture here real quick. So y'all, he coming walking towards the gate area like this, okay? And so he comes outside the gate, and I'm immediately looking crazy because I can already tell just by, of course, how he's walking outside the gate and how he got his phone, what he's coming out here for. So I'm looking crazy at this point. So he come outside the gate, and he's kind of like walking down some, and he's trying to tell me to come here. And I'm looking at him crazy like, what? And he's like, come here. And he's like walking down some, because whatever he's about to ask me, he don't really want to ask me in front of Princess and the other 2 guys, or whatever the case may be. So when he walks down and he asks me to come here again, I go ahead on and come down just a little bit, but I don't go all the way down to him, because I really want to see what the hell you telling me to come here for. Because I know you're not telling me to come here for what I think you telling me to come here for. So I'm going to go ahead on and walk down a little bit, just to hope and pray that what you telling me to come here for ain't what I really think you telling me to come here for, okay? So I come down, and y'all, phone just like this, okay? Phone is already on new contact. I can see it. Oh yeah, I can see it because his phone is like this. So his phone is already on new contact. New contact already up. He was prepared. Like, he came out there prepared. So he goes saying to me, telling me something, can I get your number? Let me close my phone. Y'all, normally when I talk to people, parents, or when I talk to older people, I put my little nice, proper, young girl voice on, because I ain't trying to sound ghetto and hood. So I put my little nice, little proper voice on when I'm talking to older folks and talking to people, parents. And you know, that's how I've been talking to him the whole night, you know, nice and sweet and proper. When he asked me that mess, that voice went clean out the window. All the way out the window. Because at that point, I was pissed off. I was so angry at the simple fact that you really had the balls and the nerve to have asked me that question. So when he asked me, he had my number. Like I told y'all, that nice voice went completely out the window. So I'm like, wait. I'm like, no, you can't have my number. What you need my number for? He's telling something, I can't have your number. I'm like, no, you can't have my number. Like, what do you need my number for? And he not answering the question. He just trying to really just see if he can get my number. That's all he's stuck on is, can he get my number? So, y'all, I'm just like so pissed off and I'm so flabbergasted at the simple fact that you really had the nerve to come out here and ask me for my number. Like, my mouth is literally on the ground, y'all. I'm having to pick it back up just to keep saying whatever I gotta say next. I'm having to keep picking my mouth back up because I'm just like beyond flabbergasted that he really had the balls to ask me that. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna show fix you because you think you slick, but I'm gonna fix you. I best believe I'm gonna fix you. So I told him, I said, listen here. How about this? You can go and ask my best friend for my number. If she allows for you to have it, then you can have it. But you're gonna have to get it from her because you're not gonna get it from me. So y'all, he really sat up there and he was like, so if I go ask her for the number, she said I can have it. I'm like, this man just got all the nerves in the world today. He just got all the nerves in the world. I'm like, did you just really reiterate that question back to me? Like, you're really gonna go and ask her for my number? Like, you're not married to her mom? You acting like she's really going to give you the number. I'm just like, oh, I can't even believe this mess right here. But when he reiterated the question back, I was like, yeah, if she say you can have the number, you can have it. Now, don't expect no text message back, because I ain't for the text you back. I don't know what you got going on, but I'm not that female. I don't know if you think I am. I don't know if you just, you done got too caught up and, I don't know what's going through your head. Too much stuff going through your head at the moment. I don't know. And you just like, well, let me just see if I can try it and see how it go. I don't know what you had on your mind, but trust and believe, whatever you had on your mind, you thought wrong. Okay? You clearly thought wrong. So I was just pretty much like, yeah, you can have it. And she said you can have it. But yes, most definitely in my head, I'm like, even if by some odd miracle, she gives you the number, which I know for a fact she's not, by some odd miracle, if she gives you the number and you text my goddamn phone, I'm going to cuss you out. Best believe that. I'm going to cuss you out and I'm going to block you. So your best bet is to not text my phone if she happens to give you that number. Okay? So yeah, y'all. So after he say that and I give him the confirmation yes answer, he goes ahead and walks off. And that was the last I had seen of him that night. So Princess pretty much heard, what happened and what was going on, because when I was saying my responses back, I was pretty loud because I was pissed off at the nerve of you to even have asked me that question and for you to have tried me like that. So Princess was like, oh my goodness, I can't even believe that. I'm like, girl, I can't either. She was just as shocked as I was. She pretty much like, didn't you say that was your best friend stepdad? I'm like, girl, yeah. She was just as shocked as I was. I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, at this point, it's like so much more crap just going through my head. And I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to handle this situation. Because, y'all, to be honest, I really felt like he felt as if he could do that and try me like that and really sit up there and ask me that question, because he knew that me and my best friend have not been talking like that. He knew we hadn't fell out, and he knew we weren't the same as we were before we fell out. He knew she hadn't been on the phone with me all day 24/7 like that. He knew I hadn't been coming over. The last time I came over was during Christmas time, and at that point in time of the pool party, that was months ago. And I'm pretty sure he knows that our relationship just wasn't the same anymore, because they can see for themselves. I'm not coming over there like that. I'm not on the phone with her like that. So he probably think that we probably fell out again, or that we don't really talk to each other and stuff, in which we really didn't talk to each other like that anymore. I honestly think that he thought I was not going to say anything to her just because we hadn't really been talking like that. And to be honest, y'all, he was about correct. He really, really was, because at this point, I'm really contemplating in my head and in my mind, should I say anything to this girl? Should I tell her? Just because we hadn't really been talking like that, and I didn't know how the conversation was going to go. I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. So I was really debating on whether or not if I should call her and tell her. But I had to really think, y'all, that this wasn't about me and my best friend relationship at all. It wasn't about anything that me and her had going on. At the end of the day, this was her mom's husband. And of course, me and her mom have our own separate relationship as well too. So I'm like, regardless of what me and her have going on, me and my best friend, her mom deserves to know what her husband is out here doing. Because she don't know that her husband is being a scumbag, apparently. She don't know. So, you know, I felt like it was only right that I did tell her, so that she could go and tell her mom. I go back home later on that night, and I'm getting ready for Tipsy's, because the day that we had the pool party was on a Saturday, and of course we promote for Tipsy's on Saturday. So I'm in my room, I'm doing my makeup and stuff like that, and my mom comes in and she just talking to me about random little stuff. I started to contemplate in my head once again if I was going to tell my mom what had just happened. Because during this time of me and my mom relationship, I was slowly starting to tell her like small things, and I was like, oh, well, should I tell her or should I not? Because I knew that in the past, I would have never thought, not once, to say anything about this to my mama. Like, I would have never, ever even thought of that to come up in my head to be like, okay, should I tell my mama? No, that would have never crossed my mind whatsoever. But now, since I was older and I was grown, I was slowly starting to tell her things. So I was thinking in my head, well, should I tell her, should I not? Should I tell her, should I not? So eventually, of her being in my room so dang long, said it's talking, my ear off, I decided to go ahead on and tell her. Now, I didn't think that my mama was going to take it the way that she took it, but I mean, I knew she was going to feel some type of way about it, but I just honestly didn't think her reaction was going to be the reaction that she had gave me. But I completely understand why she reacted that way, just because if it was me and it was my daughter, I would have reacted and thought the same way that she was thinking as well too. So when I told my mama about it, she was completely pissed off. She was like, do I need to call her mama and tell her what's going on? I'm looking at my mama like, is you crazy? Have you lost your dang mind? No. Don't pick up that phone and call that dang on lady. What is wrong with you? No. What you gonna do? Call the lady and tell her what happened. You already pissed. You got, you know, animosity and all this, and anger and all this going on in your voice. What you gonna do? Pick up the phone, be sounding pissed and stuff, telling this lady what happened. It's gonna come off as if you're pissed at her, okay? Because you got all of this hostility going on in your voice. How you gonna do that and come at that lady like that and telling her all what's going on, and she don't even know what's going on? Like, the way you're gonna tell her and explain it to her, no, it shouldn't be told or explained like that to her just because she don't know what's going on. I'm like, no, that's not me or your place to say anything to her. I will let my best friend know what's going on, and it's gonna be up to her whether or not she wants to tell her mom or not. So she was like, okay, well, you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. I can handle this, I'm sure. So, of course, you know, after I get through my makeup and getting ready and stuff, I head on out to Tipsy's. So when I get to Tipsy's, of course, it's pretty early, so it's pretty much dead in there at that point. So I ended up getting me like 2 drinks in the meantime, and I guess, you know, them drinks gave me the liquid courage I needed to go ahead on and make up my mind that I was going to go ahead on and call her and let her know what was going on. Yeah, y'all, at that time I was still contemplating on whether or not if I was going to call her or whatever. I knew that eventually I was going to call her just because I knew that this was bigger than me and her, and this was about her mom. At the end of the day, I knew eventually I was going to call her. I just didn't know whether or not if I was ready to call her and let her know what happened right then and there. Just because we hadn't spoken in a while. It would have been a different story if me and her were speaking every day. I would have called her immediately. I'd be like, bitch, let me tell you what your scumbag stepdaddy did. I would have called her in a heartbeat. But, you know, at that moment I was contemplating really on whether or not if I wanted to tell her at that moment or if I wanted to wait a while. I wasn't sure, but you know, the liquid courage gave me, you know, the courage I needed to go ahead and call her. So I ended up texting her. I was like, hey, you know, are you available to talk or whatever? So she was like, yeah, she was available to talk. So I said, okay, I'm about to call you. So I step out to the patio where I can barely hear the music and stuff, and I go ahead and call her. I'm just pretty much like, hey, you know, I went to this pool party today, and you know, I saw your stepdad there. And she just pretty much like, what? You saw my stepdad there? I'm like, yeah, he was there at the pool party. I'm like, did you know? Did y'all know that he was going to a pool party? Y'all, this girl gonna tell me, talking about some, no, they did not know he was going to no pool party. He hadn't told them that he was going fishing. Lord, it ain't funny, but it's funny. Because all I can think about here when she said that, I'm like, oh yeah, he went fishing all right. It just went for some fish, okay? Oh my goodness, y'all. It's funny, but it's not. So yeah, that's what I'm just thinking in my head. Now, to be frank, I don't know. The man could have possibly went fishing before he came to the event, or he could have honestly went afterwards. I don't know. Shoot, I wasn't seeing him anytime before or after. You know, he wasn't there the whole entire day. So I don't know what he could have been possibly doing beforehand or afterwards. You know, I mean, when I seen him, it didn't look like he had on no kind of fishing gear or nothing like that. So, I mean, I don't know. But she was pretty much like, yeah, he was saying he was going fishing, and they actually went out and did something as a family, but he wasn't going because he was claiming he was going fishing. And like I told y'all, they are very big on doing like family events and stuff like that and doing things together as a family. So I was shocked when I did see him. I didn't see the kids or the wife inside. So I was like, okay. And so I tell her, I'm like, well, he asked me for my number. She was shocked, y'all. She was shocked. She was taking it like the rest of us was. She was shocked, and she couldn't believe it either. And I also told her, I'm like, I told him that if he asks you for the number and you say that he can have it, then he can have the number. I say, did he ever come and ask you for my number? She was like, heck nah, he ain't come and ask me for no number. And he done been here for some hours now, and he ain't came in here not one time and asked me for no number. He know good and well not to come in here and ask me for no number. I'm like, I know. I already knew. And I'm just like, the nerve in him to have really reiterated that question back to me, like he was going to really go in there and ask her for my number. She just pretty much like, you know, I'm going to let her know what happened. As soon as he leave up out the room, I'm going to go in there and tell her what happened and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, you go in there and let her know and just come back and let me know what happened. So she was like, okay. So maybe like 30 minutes or so had went by, and she calls me back. And so she pretty much told me, she was like, when she told her mom what happened, her mom didn't take it like how the rest of us took it. She wasn't shocked or anything like that. She wasn't pissed or nothing. She was just pretty much saying like, well, you know, I'm gonna have to talk to him and see what's going on, because it's maybe not like how y'all taking it, and maybe it's not, you know, what it seems. Look at here. I don't care how he meant it or whatever. If it was me and my daughter come to me and tell me my husband asked for her friend who we've known since she was such a little girl, and she been coming in and out of this dang house since she was little, and my daughter come and tell me you didn't ask for her number, I don't care what reason it is you asked for her number. We gonna have some freaking issues up in here. Best to believe that. okay? But you know, each his own, you know. She felt like it maybe wasn't much to it, then you know, she's entitled to her opinion and her feelings. It's her husband at the end of the day. And also, y'all, I just realized that I didn't tell y'all why I gave DJ his name. So if y'all can put 2 and 2 together, of course, he was actually a DJ. So every Saturday at Tipsy's, he would DJ. So yeah, that's where DJ got his name from. But back to what I was just saying previously. Yeah, so her mom wasn't really taking it like that. She was just pretty much like, I'm gonna have to talk to him and see what he's saying or whatever the case may be. So of course, you know, he comes back in the room eventually and she talks to him about it, and he pretty much tell her that, you know, he wasn't asking for my number to like talk to me or anything like that. He was pretty much asking for my number to like get in contact with DJ because he wants to start doing party promoting and stuff like that. Now, I don't know, y'all. It could honestly be some kind of truth to that. I don't know, personally. Now, like I did say earlier, when I did tell him I wasn't part of the promo group, he did say, you know, he wanted to like meet DJ. So he did say that. So it could honestly be some kind of truth to what he was saying. But y'all, it was entirely too many red flags that were raised and that were shown during that whole situation for that to have literally been the reasoning of why he asked for my number, okay? And which I'm gonna lay them all out for y'all as well too here in a minute. But let me finish this conversation I was having with my best friend. I wasn't gonna say how I really felt about the situation, but of course y'all know in my head, I'm thinking that, you know, I don't know about that. You clearly was asking for the number to be on some sneaky stuff. Now, what he's saying could have some possible truth to it, but y'all know, to me, I'm looking at it as in he asked for the number because you trying to be sneaky. And I wasn't going to really voice my real opinion on how I felt about it because I didn't know how, you know, my best friend was going to take it. But y'all, she voiced it for me. I didn't even need to say nothing. She was just pretty much like, she don't believe none of that. She didn't believe it because there was no reason for him to really be asking for my number. She didn't believe it. And she's talking about he wanted to be doing party promoting. Like, he too old to be talking about promoting some parties and stuff. Like, he ain't never say anything ever before about him wanting to promote parties. And now all of a sudden he's talking about doing some party promoting. He is entirely too old to be promoting some parties. That just had me cracking up laughing. And I was like, well, yeah, you're right there. Like, why you wait until you in your 40s to be talking about you want to do some party promoting? Like, at that point, yeah, sir, you need to hang that little dream on up. You might be a little too old to be doing it. But I don't know, you know, some people probably have, you know, started party promoting at that age. You never know. I don't know. He might be on to something. My best friend then was like, you know, that's her marriage. And she want to believe that, then, you know, it is what it is. That's her marriage. So I was just like, yeah, you know, you is right. But, you know, I did my part. You know, I told you what happened so that you were able to tell your mom. And, you know, she do with the information what she wants to do with it. If she wants to believe what he told her and the excuse he gave, then, you know, that's her. You know, it's her marriage at the end of the day. It's not ours. But for me, I didn't believe that for not one bit because there were entirely too many red flags. First of all, when you asked me for my number, you knew how I was taking it, okay? That's number one. You knew I was taking it on some, you trying to be slick and trying to talk to me type of, you know, reaction. That's exactly what I gave you. You seen my reaction I gave you, and you knew exactly how I was taking it when you asked me for my number. And not once did you ever clear it up. Not once. When you see my reaction, you didn't stop me and be like, hey, you know, it ain't none of that. You know, I ain't trying to ask you for your number to be talking to you. I'm just asking you for your number because you know the guy that's over y'all promo group, and I'm just trying to get in touch with him or whatever the case may be. You never once cleared it up or gave me the reason that you gave your wife. You didn't give me that reasoning. To me, I feel like instead of giving your wife that foo-foo behind answer when I asked you what you needed my number for, you should have gave me that kind of an answer. Or you should have gave me something, because when I asked you what you needed my number for, all you wanted to do was keep asking me, oh, I can't have a number, can I have a number? That's all you was concerned about. You weren't concerned about giving me a reason of why you was asking me for my number. So if anything, I was the one that deserved a freaking reasoning of why you was asking for it. And if it was really that simple and it was that innocent of why you was asking me for my number, why didn't you just tell me that same answer that you told her? Because that clearly wasn't your reason of why you was asking for the number. And not only that, if you wanted my number because you were trying to get in touch with DJ, like I told y'all, he did mention to me that, you know, he did want to speak to DJ, whatever case may be. If you were really asking for my number because you want to speak to DJ, all you had to do was tell me that. And when you told me that, I would have been like, oh, okay, you don't need my number for that. If it's that serious for you to where you feel the need to have to ask me for my number in order to get in contact with this man, I would have simply told you, yeah, you don't need my number for that. Give me one moment. Let me go and find him for you, okay? Since it's that serious for you to come out your mouth and ask me for my number, let me go and find him for you. And then, you know, y'all can communicate and exchange numbers for all I give a damn. Like, you don't need me in order to get in touch with him. Like, he's literally here at this same event that we're at. It was nothing for you to have wait until I saw him and let him know you wanted to speak to him, or for you to have just told me, hey, you know, I'm really trying to get in touch with him or speak to him before I leave. Can you know, try and maybe go find him for me, or can you give me his contact information? You could have said any of that, but you didn't. You know, it is what it is. I honestly should have gave him the freaking number. I really should, just to see how this was going to play out. I should have gave him the number and seen what he was going to text me about. Because if you did not text me about anything dealing with DJ, then at that point you called. Like, I have all physical proof in the text messages that you talking about something that has nothing to do with DJ. You know, I wasn't finna go that far with it. I dang sure wasn't for getting him my number at all just to be testing somebody. No, I wasn't finna go that far with it. But if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you guys so much. And also, y'all gotta hit that like button on your way out the door, because if you made it to the end of this video, like I said at the beginning, you liked it if you made it to the end of this video. So go ahead on and like it, okay? Give your girl a thumbs up. Thank you. But I love you guys so much if you made it to the end of my video. I hope to see you in my next one, and bye.